new federal law meant to toughen up criminal sentencing could be hard on your pocketbook. The federal government is getting rid of the practice of reducing sentences by double the amount of time served before and during trial. A Liberal MP asked Parliamentary Budget Officer Kevin Page to look into the cost of ending the 2-for-1 credit. Rosemary Barton is following the story from Ottawa. Rosemary, first of all, I'm not sure I explained that entirely well in the introduction. So what exactly are we talking about here?
Well, the 2-for-1 Sentencing Act, Carol, is when a judge would be able to give an inmate or someone in custody credit for time served either before or during their trial. That has come to an end now. So the 2-for-1 part of that has come for an end now, and that was the bill that has already been passed and was supported by the Liberals, even though they've asked for now a costing from the Parliamentary Budget Officer.
Okay, so how much is it going to cost?
It's going to cost a lot, at least if you believe Kevin Page. Now, he was a little bit limited in terms of the numbers that he had. He says that Corrections Canada didn't give him access to everything, but he was able to do a very complicated sort of mathematical analysis looking at the 2007-2008 numbers. And some of the numbers he came up with, Carol, are staggering. He says that if you put this new bill into place, there's going to be a huge cost for taxpayers and a huge weight on the incarceration system, the correction system as well. For instance, he says that it will increase the number of inmates on average. More than 3,700 new inmates will enter the system. He says it will increase the average number of days that they're in custody by about 159 days. The operations and maintenance of jails and prisons, he says, will go up to $618 million just because of this new legislation. And he says that it will require the federal government to provide close to 5,000 new prison cells if they keep running things the way they are now. And he says that would mean that they'd have to build new prisons and jails, and he says that would cost somewhere in the region of $1.8 billion over 5 years. So he says these are staggering costs and that the federal government should have been much more transparent about them. Here's Kevin Page.
I knew incarceration was expensive. I think we've seen additional data produced by the good folks at the John Howard Society, Elizabeth Fry, etc. But when we actually do the calculation, just do the simple math in terms of longer stays, which means higher head counts, and we know how expensive it is to incarceration is. You get to numbers, big numbers in a hurry.
So Rosemary, what is the government saying in reaction to what Kevin Page is saying?
Well, frankly, Carol, they say it's hogwash. They say that Kevin Page did get access to numbers, but that Kevin Page doesn't really understand the government's plans for how it plans to deal with this increase of new inmates. For instance, Page doesn't really know if the government plans to build new prisons or whether he's just going to have everyone sort of bunking up with one another. The Minister of Public Safety, Vic Taves, says there is no plan to build new institutions and that the cost of incarcerating offenders dealing with crime is an important one that Canadians should feel comfortable with. He says that the price tag for this new legislation is more in the range of $2 billion over 5 years. And frankly, he's not interested in what Kevin Page has to say. Take a listen.
Well, I don't know where he's getting his information from.
Are you
if you indicate that he wasn't getting any information from Correctional Service Canada, he must be making this up.
So the tenuous relationship between Kevin Page and the federal government continues, but Kevin Page says that he stands by his numbers and he's put them out there for everyone to sort of look at. Should point out, Carol, tomorrow he's planning to release some numbers related to the security costs of the G20 summits.
Oh, well, we look forward to that.
We will.
Rosemary Barton in Ottawa, thank you.